Good morning. Good morning. This is Tish, subdivision gardener, just doing what I do. Thank you for joining me this morning as I um, water, early watering. So the plants will be ready for the days today heat to come in so they can be nice and watered. I see that we had dew that came upon the leaves last night. Also, I'm going to check and see. I went around checking to see if everything was well, anything need to be pruned. And now I'm going to water and do my DIY irrigation watering, filling the containers up. So come on with me this morning to see what I'm doing in the garden while my plants and myself are getting in our Bible reading. I hope you enjoy this well. Hello, everybody, and thank you for being a part of my channel and subscribing to my channel. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so. And also hit that bell so you can be notified when I have uploaded some more videos. But other than that, thank you for joining me today and another morning in the garden. As you can see, it's a lot of work to be done in the garden. A lot of watering, a lot of filling the containers, making sure the plants have what it needs for the hot and humid days to come. So I'm out here just watering the garden and filling up the containers. As you can see, any smoke that comes past the screen, that is my incense. I also in the garden listening to my Bible reading. I do audiobook, and I love to listen to the word while I'm in the garden and to share it with my plants and veggies as well. I think they need it as well. They are living things, we are living beings, and they need God's word as well. As I was watering, I noticed that my loofah is growing so wonderfully. Man, I have at least, think 15 loofahs back on that back part of that bed, and they are already reaching towards the fence line to the back of the garden. And that was the purpose of me putting the fence up. Not only protect my garden from the predators in the woods right there, because I don't have a fence line, but also for my loofahs. And I noticed last year when it was on the other fence I had, the loofahs were so huge and the animals did not bother them. So I hope this year that I will get more loofahs, so maybe I could start blessing people with seeds and maybe open up a little seed store for my loofah seeds starting out. Not only that, the loofah gourds, the sponges, I can be able to harvest those for cleaning as well as being a blessing for Christmas time. You know, they make wonderful Christmas gifts. As you can see, I'm watering my back DIY irrigation jugs. I noticed that has been working wonderfully so far. I do it once a day. On nice days like this, I do a real water down the whole garden in the morning and then fill the jugs up so it can have a drip system during the day because it'd be so hot during the day now. So, in some mornings when I have I've checked the soil and it's already moist, I will go ahead and just water, fill up the jugs and let them have the drip irrigation from the jugs. I noticed, I've seen that I can do a better or improvement on them. And so next year I'm going to try my new improved system, see if that works. But I have to, trial and error and see if it works before I set it out for the next season. So when the fall come in, I'll try and see if that's a good system that I'm thinking of now. But right now, the what I got going on, it working it working wonderfully. Also, with me putting down the straw helps to keep the moisture in the soil, so I wouldn't have to water so much. So that's another thing I know. I didn't haven't did my fruit trees and my berries, but I noticed that with that on top of it this year on my soil, it keeps my soil very moist, and that helps with the growth as well as the plants getting the water that they need on a daily basis, being consistency with water as well. So that's a one thing. That's a plus. That was a plus for what I did also this year. My tomatoes are looking wonderfully. I got some new variety of them. I love the new newness of the tomato trellises I built. I am going to tweak it a little bit. I did see that they are growing much taller, and since I did this video, they have even shot up even more. And I have plump, juicy tomatoes ready to turn. So they are all green, but when they start turning at once, oh my goodness. But the cherry tomatoes I get on sporadically. They come out and that'll be my little snack in the garden. But they are doing wonderful this year. So my new system of what I did last year with the tomatoes, I'm going to keep that. I'm going to keep what I did to get them going, to get them started, and so they will be nice and strong going into the garden for next season too. So some things I will go in another video what I did and what I used this past fall to help my this past early spring to help the tomatoes to get to where it need. And yeah, I wanted to share that with you because I believe that worked this year better than last year. No legginess this year, strong root system, strong plants for my tomatoes. And I can't wait to taste the watermelon tomato I have and a mushroom basket. And they look so beautiful formed. I'm still working on that squash and zucchini. Getting some squash. I haven't got any zucchini yet. So I'm praying that the new seedlings and the old ones finally get a male flower instead of, a female flower instead of all the males. I need a female so the bees can pollinate it and I can get some fruit. Now I did get some spaghetti squash and I do have some regular squash, crookneck, and some 49ers. I haven't got my Sakuzi out. None of that came up yet. So prayerfully, the new one will be awesome with that.
As I water my tomatoes and my loofahs as well as my bush beans, I'll be watering it thoroughly and also adding up the jugs with my DIY irrigation system. So today, as it gets warmer and it dries up those others, they have more water to be dripping down into so they will stay consistently watered. Also, I will be looking on my tomatoes to see any disease form or anything that looking the leaves don't look well. I pluck them off, as well as if it's not enough airflow in between, I start plucking leaves in between to make sure enough airflow can go through it as well.
As I was talking about airflow, it's very important that you do have great airflow in between your plants, especially your tomato plants, because they are prone to diseases. And when we get a lot of rain, the rain falls and it causes a lot of powdery mildew, blight, all those things because the water settles on the leaves. So it's great to have airflow. It's great to have that and always water the roots, not the plant, because that helps with that. Right here is my zucchini bed, the one I'm having a little trouble with because it's all male flowers popping up. I have not received a female flower that came out of the plants yet. I have put some bone meal. Was it bone meal? I think it was bone meal. down in the plants a while back to help it with the growth, with the flowering and stuff like that. And it seemed like it did well. I did coffee grounds. I do 511 every week now. Try to get that in. Try to keep the nutrient, and I have my own super juice. So I'll be putting that in there as well. And that stuff stinks, but it's so good for the plants. So I'm filling up the jugs and everything like that. I did went through and water deeply in the beds. And these jugs, when I fill them up, it helps them during the daytime. When they're out here and the sun is beaming down on them, that will release water, drips of water into the bed. So that's a wonderful thing right there. Sometimes this hose get squished up and cause the pressure of the water not to flow out well. So right here is my cucumber trellising. I have 3 beds over here, and I have a trapezoid type cucumber set up for the trellising of the cucumbers. I have munchy cucumbers over here. It was another one. I can't remember. I don't know if it's Boston or something, but I know I have a lemon cucumber over here as well. So it's different 3 type of snacking cucumbers. So it's 3 different type of small cucumbers over here that I love the smaller ones because I do a lot of pickling. I do a lot of relishes and things like that. I love pickles. So I do a lot of those, and it's easier when my husband loves his cucumber salads. It is easy for me to cut up the smaller ones and dice them and have them in our different meals. The larger ones, it's okay, but I don't use them a lot more. And I might end up planting one market more, the larger ones out in my bed to make maybe some cucumber boats or something. But right now, those are what I planted in all 5 of my beds, and I have plenty of cucumber plants inside of those containers that's in there. Um, a lot of flowering has been happening. I think I have too many flowers blooming out in one clusters. I did see a video about them taking off certain. I don't mess with them. Let the bees pollinate them. If they want to jump up and make a cucumber, thank you. If they don't, oh well, fall off. You know, I remember when God had went to the fig tree and saw it and it wasn't producing. He cursed it and it had to die because it wasn't producing the fruit and doing what it's called to do. Our cucumber plants are called to grow, to produce. It's called to produce. It's called to make fruit. That's their job. That's their goal in life, is to grow, to make fruit for us and the animals. That is the job of them. Just like we have a purpose and a job to do on earth, the plants, living things, have a purpose and a job to do as well. And so I am in agreement with my Father and whatever He commands and tells those plants to do. And if they don't do what they are called or told to do, then hey, it's no use for you right there. So I'm checking and working on making sure everything is good over here, clipping the leaves, giving it airflow, picking off the cucumbers that's ready. Also making sure my soil is right. And I do have feeding systems inside of each one of these high-rise containers over here. It's 3 of them in the middle. So I do put scraps in the middle into a potting plant. And I'm supposed to drop a seed of maybe a sunflower or something inside. I haven't did it yet on top. So I'm going to see what kind of, drop some seeds right in the middle of it. I've been doing a lot of basil around. So I might do sunflowers right in the middle that comes right up in the middle of them. And the pollinators will love it. So that is what's going on this side. And I noticed I had a lot of pruning to do on this today. I have been told, and I have read, also by watching some of the YouTube videos on YouTube University, that cucumbers are heavy feeders. They love nitrogen as well. So I do put my coffee grounds down in there as well. For the bone meal, I did put some of that down there. And I'm going to be feeding it with 511 at least once a week to keep the plants growing and keep it with the nutrients in it. That's one of the things I noticed, that it was heavy feeders. Like mostly everything out in my garden are kind of heavy feeders. And they love to have their nutrients and love to eat. Just like us as humans, we love to eat too. If we feed them what they need, they will give us what we would want and what we need. If we feed them what they need, they will feed us, they will give us what we need. And that's the fruit from their plants, from them. And I'm so excited about how God have orchestrated, have the same done. Okay, in this bed, I have my cantaloupe. Oh, yes, cantaloupe. As you can see here, they are growing up on the cattle panel trellis that I have over here. And I put this cattle panel on these two beds, connected beds, because I knew I was going to have heavy hanging fruits on them. And that was my watermelon and my cantaloupe. And they are growing lovely. As you can see now, they're growing on the cattle panel very well. But when I did this video, but now in the future video, you'll see that they are always, they grew all the way up on the trellis. And on the other side, the watermelon, it has grown up. And the asparagus bean is all the way in the middle of the trellis on top. So they are doing wonderfully. I did get some companion planting down. I think I did some herbs or something else down in that bed. I can't remember. We'll see when it comes up. And what I'm watering over here is one of the tomato plants over there as well. I'd like to thank you all for tuning in, and thank you for supporting my channel. Have a wonderful and blessed day. Until next time, this is Tish, just doing what I do, subdivisional gardening.